Hello.
Hello, everyone. We are so back. It is
It's
week one.
Steven.
Okay.
It's Steven.
It's
Now,
Steven
now it's your
and
turn.
Scott and Sarah.
Okay, you guys were very bad at that.
Well, we didn't debrief what was going to happen beforehand.
No, you're not on mute.
No, you're not on mute. You're not on mute,
I said I was
girl.
giving you a cameo. Can you not see you? I can't see you.
Hey, well, I thought I
No,
was
we can see Sarah.
starting to confuse me.
Um,
Guys, it's your season 75 billion accidental first place winner.
right, right. I don't know what you're saying. She's
I don't.
delirious. Okay, bye, Sarah.
Bye.
Okay, she's gone.
Alrighty. Well, that was so fun. Um, that was more fun than all of week one combined, right there. Um, in that little 30 seconds. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
We need
To
to
quote
watch that.
Julian,
I'm kidding.
I'm kidding.
Gosh, I
Um,
need to make a soundboard. Why haven't I done it yet?
you honestly, if I had a nickel for every time Steven said, "Let me make a soundboard for the rankings," I'd have like probably like 5 or 6 nickels.
Oh, I said it a lot. Yeah, probably that many.
But yes, it is week one rankings. We are here to talk about the house guests of season 17 and how they're doing. Um, I was thinking back on this. I think this is probably, and this is no shade, um, because I don't think it's necessarily their fault or a reflection of this cast. But I think this is probably the boringest week one we've had possibly ever.
And you know what? Like I didn't hate it. You know what I mean?
Like yes and
Like,
no.
it
I
was
didn't
boring
hate
and
it.
nothing happened, but like I still liked watching people interact and get to know each other.
Yeah, it was a very like social groundwork week. Um, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see how these like normally with a busier week one, we can kind of get a better gauge for like where the game is going, who's well liked, who's in the good social standing. It'll be interesting to see how our thoughts on this first week carry over into the remaining weeks. Because even as week two is beginning, I'm already sensing things changing and I have different opinions on people. Um, but with all that being said, I'm excited to talk about week one. Um, talk about this lovely group of 16 that is now a group of 15.
Yeah.
And yeah, we lost Julian this week. But it's hard to lose something that you never had. So, um, but we managed. Um, Julian was our first boot. Um, Jason and Juan were the HOHs. I'm like trying to like recap this week, but I'm like, what happened? Jason and Juan were HOHs.
They nominated Julian
Jason put up,
and Jamie and Citrus.
yes. Jamie and Julia won the duo's duel. The veto was not used after Jason won again, and then Julian was evicted unanimously. Okay, a good reset.
What's
I'm
with
excited to talk about some of these things and these people.
I'm very
Um,
excited.
I
So,
have a lot to say for not a lot that's happened. So yeah.
all right, let's start with Ashlyn.
Alrighty. Starting with Ashlyn. Um, oh, I have all my scores locked and I'm not gonna change from anything at all. For Ashlyn, I think that this cast, the spectrum of like how much people talk and what is considered active is like greatly shifted this season. Um, And I think Ashlyn falls somewhere right in the middle. She is definitely not in this first week someone that is seen as like, oh, like I would not call her like in the mix in terms of like constantly talking in the majority, whatever. But
Can you hear that?
all of it.
Okay, sorry.
Um, and I would not call her on the outs either. Um, On day one, she was one of the first people to message everyone. I thought that was great. I think people don't see her as a threat, and they've liked talking to her when they do talk to her. I think her having Danny as a partner is hugely beneficial to her because I think Danny is one of the most liked people in the house and connected. Um, and as we saw with like Kayla and Karina in this last week, I think like that can be more of a boon and boost her up than pull Danny down. Is how I was feeling in week one. Um, so with all that being said, um, I will be giving Ashlyn a 5 this week, kind of middle of the road. It's a low 5. It's um everyone that I'm giving a score to is either a low of that score or a high of that score. This is a low 5. It's a very average middling 5, but it is a 5 because I felt like leaving this week. She was
Wait, so
not
those are two different things. Low five and an average five are two different things.
okay. Well, it's a low 5 for me. It's a
I'm
low
gonna
5.
give an average five.
Okay.
Um,
Um, the one thing that I do find really interesting, um, is her dynamic with Juan specifically, and how the two of them have been brought together by their season 15 counterparts. Um, it'll be interesting to see how that dynamic plays out, and I'll talk about it more when we get to Juan because I have so many thoughts.
is that the
Um,
yellow we usually use?
I was gonna ask this. I was looking at the color scheme. I like the old color scheme better. I don't like the season 16 one. I know you wanted it to be brighter, but I think the old one was better.
Yeah, it's kind of pain in the ass in the episodes, the new one, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay, great. So we're gonna go back to the old one.
Perfect. Um,
Yeah, it's a 5 from me for Ashlyn.
I think for season 16 that was a good color scheme. I think for season 17, like this is a better with the like there's a more muted color scheme.
For sure. Now your thoughts on Ashlyn.
Yeah, Ashlyn, I think is had some work to do after her intro video. I think was something that people were saying was very like a little bit plain. So I think she had some social work to do. I think she's right in the middle, right in the middle of the road right now, as of the end of week one. Um, I think that I think that she will give in the same way that Liz took a second to give. So we'll see. I think a lot of my scores this week are going to, or typically in week one, are pretty middle of the road, unless there's something drastic that happened. But Ashton's a good five. I think Ashton's a steady five. Also, Scott, did you see Quinn from BB26 shout us out?
Oh, I did not see that.
Cade just sent a video. Should I show it? Or no?
Um,
I'm going to show it.
sure.
If I can get it into the slides, I'll show it. Let me
Oh,
see.
I see it here.
Big brother SS.
Can you hear that?
What's good? Boy, Twindling River, Twin Cosmo Bay, Twin
Yeah, I was just giving him nicknames. But he said Big Brother SS, what's up? That's pretty cool.
Work. Come on, Quinn. Um,
Anyway, let's
and well, yes.
let's move on to Caden.
Moving on to Caden. Caden is someone that I think will probably be here for a little while. He is, in my opinion, coming out of week one, the second most active person, if not the most active person. And on the whole, I think that's a really good thing. He is definitely super connected. A lot of people really like him. He's been the leading proponent, in my opinion, of like trying to talk game.
Hmm.
Even though there's not a lot to work with, he's like trying to just like talk strategy with people, which I think is helpful for a lot of these newer people to like transition into game talk because clearly people want to. It's just like they don't know if there's enough to talk about or how to transition into it or whatever. And I think Caden's been really good at that while not overdoing it. Um, he's got his trio with Danny and Suba, which I think is really under the radar. No one, they're not like a clockable three. It's not like you could find out any information from outside the game that would like link them three together, which I think is really good for them because all of them could be linked to other people in the game. Um, Caden also has a good rapport with Jason. built up a good rapport with Juan, um, has good talks with Damon, who's his partner, has good talks with Karina. Um, so he's got good ends with everyone. Um, he was really paranoid about his connection to Lefteri and Riley. Um, Ultimately, I think it was just a case of like there was not a lot happening, and Lefteri forgot to respond, and like it wasn't that deep. Um, the only thing I worry for Caden is if he will eventually do too much, because this was a very, very straightforward week, and Caden's mind was still like working like 1,000 times a minute. And I wanted to be like, Caden, slow down just a little bit. It's okay. And he didn't do any overplaying, but I'm just breathe. Just breathe. Um, I am going to be at a 6 for Caden.
Mhm.
Definitely deserves to be in the green scores. He's not middle of the road. He is solidly safe. Um, I think very well liked in the house. Good strategic mind. Um, there are a few people that I'm considering putting to a 7, and the reason that I do not have Caden as a 7 is just I think that he
It's not like them.
is not like them. A great point. I think he's being clocked as a gamer a little bit. There's a few people, like specifically Juan, when he talks about like other people that have experience, like Kane's name is almost at like the top of that list. Usually, whereas some other people haven't been put there that do have experience. And he'd just be talking a lot, which I don't think is a horrible thing. It's better than not talking enough, but it has been enough for me to not put him at the top of the list this week. But it's still green score, solid work, Caden. I expect to see Caden here for a while this season.
Me too. Yeah, definitely someone that's been going around a lot and talking to people, and not only talking to people in group chats, has had a lot of calls, which I think very much strengthens relationships. And a lot of like, yes, I think his mind is working in terms of strategy, but I feel like he is also equally putting in the social get to know you game connections too. Um, I feel like almost every call I've been on has been with him. He's been with someone.
Hmm.
But I have no reason to go above a 6, to be honest. So I'm going to go a 6 as well. But I agree. Like, I think. Do I see in the eventual near future that people could be like, we might need to keep an eye on him? Yeah, maybe, but it's week one. Um, but
I don't think we'll see it until the jury. I think once we
I
get
would
to the
think like the
jury,
beginning of the jury is what I would guess.
I know for a fact from talking with him in person that like Jason is like, I wonder if Caden thinks I'm gonna take him super far. Like I can't. Um, so like I think that definitely will be out there. I think Juan will probably look to take a shot at some point as well. So, but that's down the line. It's not anything that I'm concerned about at this point. There's a lot that could happen, and that's predicting the future, which I don't do in my rankings. Cool.
Cool. Citrus.
Citrus.
Nom.
Um, Citrus on the block this week. Um, I'm gonna cut right to my score here and then explain why. For Citrus this week, um, if you know, for all my science friends out there, the pH scale, you know, what's acidic and what's basic. Fruits are acidic, and therefore I will be giving an acidic ranking of a 3.
But
Um,
in good news, she's definitely not basic.
yeah, certainly not basic. Um, I will be giving Citrus a 3 this week. Um, It had the potential to be a 4. However, ultimately it was at a 3 for a couple of reasons. One, I unfortunately think that her being partnered with Jamie is not doing any favors right now. I think universally, Citrus and Jamie heading out of this week, unless they themselves want HOH, I think land on the block again this week as a duo, no matter who the HOH is. Simply due to the fact that every other duo does not have a tight relationship with them because they have certainly said the least as a combined duo. Every other duo has at least one member that is tied to someone else that there's at least a shot that gets saved. No one is saving Citrus and Jamie. So I think it is almost a certainty that they end up on the block again next week. Number two, although Julian said nothing, and when I say nothing, I literally mean did not make a single chat with anyone. Citrus wasn't like far behind that. Like I don't think Citrus has a chat with every single person. And I felt like optimism and promise when on like the day of the eviction, Citrus sent in the chat and was like, "Hey everyone, like I'm at work till 5. I promise I'm not ignoring you. And once I get off, like and like then we'll chat." And then it became 5, and then 6, and then 7. And I was like, I still haven't seen any messages from Citrus. And a few people reached out to her and they were like, "Hey, how are you feeling?" And Citrus was like, "Good, fine. I just think Julian hasn't reached out, so I hope people see that I want to be here." And I'm like, "Citrus, you need to talk to people individually." And there wasn't a lot of that. There
Hmm.
was not a lot of that. No, there was not. Um, I think there's a few people in this game, and we'll get to them. It's honestly Citrus's friend group that I think they think they're being active, but they're really not. Um,
We'll get to those people. Are you still there? Are you frozen?
I'm just buffering in my mind.
There you go.
Oh, speaking of citrus, in the diary room, saying is I just saw
Speaking
butterfly
of
number
the
one.
friends of Citrus.
Yeah, speaking of that tracks, that tracks. Um,
Oh
and
shoot. What's up
this
their
is gonna be a
playlist?
plot point. We'll get into that next week. Um, but yeah, it's a 3 from me, and I don't anticipate it moving much from a 3 here soon. So yeah,
Yeah, three from me. I swear I'm not just copying you. Three from me. Nominee, not reaching out much. Yeah, it's like for some people's duos, it's like, oh, I don't talk much to you, but I really like the person you're partnered with, therefore I'm not gonna put you up, or like I can work with you. But like Jamie is also like not really in a bunch of places right now, so it's not helping Citrus either. Um, Honestly, would not be surprised if I was choosing the five pre-jurors. I feel like Citrus would probably fill that list. Uh,
if I had to guess right off the bat after week 1, obviously Julian, and I think that it's likely that we are looking at
I think it'll be three or
Citrus,
four inactive,
Mia.
less active people,
I think
one big
out of
person.
left field, my gut tells me we could see a left Terry snipe, um, and possibly Jamie or Ashlyn, Caitlin.
Are you there? Hello.
Hello. I fear it's your connection and you're on mute.
Hey.
I think the recording's back. I don't know when I cut off, but all to say, we'll circle back to our thoughts on how the
Yeah, yeah,
preview could go at the end of the rankings, I think.
yeah. Okay, so three for Citrus. Damon.
Damon.
If I
Damon,
had a um uh for all my math people out there, if I had a derivative of Damon's ranking, meaning what I expected him to be, and it's like his slope downwards, it would be very very low, very high. It'd be very high, a negative high.
sure.
It'd be a negative high because
And
I expected more.
for
It's
all of my,
not true.
yeah, work,
Well, you
I'd
had
say
your
for all
science people. I wanted to talk to my math people.
of
Pickles here. There's so many pickles. No.
me when I'm Olivia Wick. Okay. Um, yes, Damon. Yeah, I agree with Steven. Damon was my first pick of the whole draft, famously, and I've gone on a roller coaster. I've been really up and down, and that's been like very small peaks and very small dips. I thought that he'd be like social king, master manipulator in some of the best spots here, and he's not quite there. Um, the first 2 days were a little rough, even to the point that Juan wanted to backdoor him. A little wild. I don't think it would have gone through. Um,
Definitely
and even if I think if it got to that point, I think Jason could have gotten in Juan's ear enough that it would probably be a bad idea. That Damon probably would not go home. Um, it would. I just think it would have been a bad idea, and it either wouldn't have happened or he would have been fine anyway. Um, with that being said, I'm not out on Damon yet at all. Do I think he's in his diary room and on FaceTime with Caden? He's like, yeah, this is my strategy, and I'm still gonna walk away winning, and I'm totally fine, and I know how to be social." And I'm like, I think you're a little more confident than the actual reality, but I love that confidence. He started doing his daily mission texts, which everyone has talked about.
to each
And
other.
honestly, like everyone talking about it to each other has like kept him in like the friendly vernacular to the point where it's like I think I forget who sent a text saying this, but someone was like, I've not heard anyone say that they really like Damon, but I have not heard anyone say that they would consider putting him up.
I've heard some negative things. Um,
Well, that was a more recent text, especially in the beginning of the week. I heard some negative things. Overall, though, for my score, though, I am going to give Damon a 5. I kind of view him and Ashlyn in similar points where it's like people have touched base with them, they talk with them, they have really good partners. Um, don't really want to put them up. Could do some more social work. I think will come alive later in the season. But right now, I definitely have no reason to be in a green score area. So I'm at a 5 for Damon.
I think I'm actually going to be at a 4. I did hear some things at the end of last week that was like, and granted, it's also like just naturally being. It's the same thing happened with Sarah, like naturally being with Riley. Like I hear her thoughts, but I also hear direct conversations that she has on the phone with people. Um, and it was a little bit of like, okay, he's like saying the same thing to everyone, but I have no substance with him. Like I don't have anything. And there's the plans of he almost got himself nominated this week, which his partner's not too happy with. So I don't know. Like I think it's just that combined with the fact that I'm like a little unimpressed right now, when my expectations are maybe a little higher. But I'm gonna go with a 4.
Very nice. So a 4.5 for Damon.
Danny.
Danny. This was my big one. I knew in the draft, I knew in the casting season process, I was like, I think, respectfully, Steven, you're sleeping on Danny.
All right, good. To be fair, is he on your
And
team?
I feel so vindicated. Um,
And that's fair.
Danny is giving everything I had hoped he would give and more. Currently, one of my favorite people to watch.
Mhm.
Danny is the person. This trio of Caden, Danny, and Zuba, I think is definitely going to be a dangerous trio for a while. Um, and specifically Danny, I think has social connections all around the house. Literally everyone loves Danny because Danny's just been really good at talking to people on a personal level and establishing like game trust. Hasn't said too much game, but has definitely talked enough where like everyone feels good with Danny, I feel like. Um, Also in terms of people clocking like, oh, who's had game experience, who hasn't. Like no one's like, oh, Danny has had experience. Danny has. Danny's been in the fandom for a while. Um, so he's definitely not one to sleep on there. I don't know. I just feel the most confident about Danny's odds moving forward. I'll be interested to see how act like him and Caden are in similar social positions. Um, I think I like Danny's social positioning a little more. However, with that being said, he definitely has taken a more laid back like game approach. And for week one, I think that's totally fine. It was probably, in all honesty, the better, which is why Danny is one of the people that I will be giving a 7. So I am going to give Danny a 7. It's a low 7. It's like barely peaked over the 7, but for me, it is a 7. Um, and I'll be interested to see that once the game kicks into high gear a little more, though, how Danny will translate into like, will Danny also kick into high gear and like start actively pushing for some things? Or is he still going to be like a hands up type of player? So that's what I'm interested to see in the future. For this week, though, it was great. 7 for Danny.
7 from me as well. Uh, very social, very likable. I will admit, I think I was sleeping on Danny a bit. Um, excited to see what happens moving forward. Um, you have Suba too? I thought I had Suba.
Mm-mm.
Dang,
No, my team is stacked.
dang.
Yeah, no.
I hate my team.
My worry was sincere in the draft where I was like, oh, like everyone seems really great. No, I really love my team. I was looking at my team, really big fan of my team right now.
I think we both have some people,
Oh, yeah, no, you've definitely got some good people, which we'll get
and
to.
some people who I think are in danger. I think we both have that too. Um, okay, yeah, that's those are my thoughts on Danny. I'm excited to see what happens moving forward. Uh, let's move on. Jamie.
Jamie. Okay. Jamie, I'm not I'm not disappointed. That's not quite the right word. I think Jamie is unfortunately a classic case of like she clearly has a good strategic mind. Like when she does have conversations, it's like, okay, like you clearly understand what's going on. She also clearly wants to be here because when she is talking with people, like she's like quick to respond, is here when she's here. I just think that Jamie doesn't fully like know how much other people are talking.
That's what I was
And
gonna say.
they're
I think it's easy for us to see that she's not talking,
exactly,
but it's hard when you are in the game to know like how much you're talking compared to other people.
exactly. And I think that's her biggest struggle. Um, if she can make it by some of these early weeks and like the game starts naturally picking up where we're talking game and like she has quote more of like a reason to talk to people, I would be interested to see. However, unfortunately, with this
Mhm.
Howdy Partners twist, exactly like I said with Citrus, I think it's impossible for her to not see the block again next week. Um, and likely, even if like let's say they see the block again next week, let's say that someone else goes home, great. Jamie and Citrus are still a duo and probably end up on the block in that third week too.
Mm.
Or let's say Jamie stays. Let's say Citrus goes home in week 2. Oh, good. Now your partner is Julia. You're ending up on the block anyway. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think like while the Howdy Partner stress is here, like she's gonna be on the block, unfortunately. Um,
Granted, I do think that she will consistently beat Citrus in these competitions.
I would probably tend to agree with that. I have seen her put in more effort with people. Um, and the people that have talked to her are like, yeah, when I talk to Jamie, it's good. And I do get some stuff from her. It's just few and far between. Um, so I am gonna put her one bump above Citrus because I do think there was a little more effort, and I do think there was a little more light at the end of the tunnel. However, I do feel as though I have to be at a red score because I think it's an inevitable that she's going to be on the block here consistently in this early game. So it's going to be a 4 from me for Jamie.
And even if she wasn't going to be on the block in the next few weeks, I don't think she's doing enough anyway. But 4 from me too. Um, I I think it is a thing of like she just doesn't know how much other people are talking, and I think she probably feels like she's doing enough. And not to say that that won't change, I don't know. But I think it could be the case also of there's a lot of people here. And while there's a lot of people here, I don't feel like I need to do as much. And then once the kind of numbers go down, I can start like really playing more. But I don't know what she's thinking really. But four for me, for Jamie. Moving on to my first round draft pick, Jason.
Okay. Jason and Juan both. Talking about their joint HOH here in a second. I have so many reasons to be pretty high on both of them. And I also have so many reasons to be like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Um, it's like it makes me so confused on where to rank the both
In
of
what way?
them.
Because I want to
So,
hear that.
um, for Jason, let's start with the positives. His HOH week, I think, was really good. Smooth sailing, put
Hmm.
up inactive people, made tight bonds with others. Awesome. That was great. Two, he came into this week like I think he had the correct read. He was like, if I don't have a smooth week with one, if we're not a tight duo, we're gonna be nothing. I think he did a good job establishing upfront that he wanted to work with one. Um, had a good relationship set up with Caden, with Danny, has that quad group chat with Leftari and Riley, has an awesome relationship with Karina, has a lot of good things going, has a great relationship with Suba. Um, was great talking with like Citrus and like calming her nerves, like is good at that thing. And I think a lot of people have Jason as like a high priority of theirs, which is good. Comma, but there's a couple of things that I think that if Jason was just being fully sincere, he'd be doing so much better because there's a couple of just like not necessarily white lies. No, I would actually call them white lies. Like he was on the phone with Suba and he was like, yeah, like I just had a friend send this along to me and I've never really done something like this, but I figured why not? And now here I am. And it's like, Jason, I know that like you don't know everyone in this cast. However, everyone in this cast, literally everyone in this cast has a either played games before or has a direct, very close tie to someone that has played games before
Or
and
us.
like knows. So like everyone like has gathered that like you've played in games before. Not that like your reputation precedes you or whatever, but just the fact that you've played games. So he's coming in here, I think, wanting to avoid what his reputation in the fandom is, which is like definitely a little more devious, cutthroat, whatever. But instead, because he's lying about that, and he's not mentioning that I'm his boyfriend, which is like, whatever. But again, people know that. Like, Keegan,
Yeah, it's like I
no.
feel like those are such easy things to like cross check. And then all of a sudden you're lying about this. Like, what else are you lying about?
Exactly. And it's like, Caden has been like, oh, you're lying about that to people. Weird. Soup has been like, oh, you're lying to me, and I know that. Weird. Danny is like, oh, you're lying to me about that. Weird. Juan is like, oh, there's a little sus. I don't like it's because of the little things. It just gives the vibe that he's manipulating people, and he is. That's what he's trying to do. But like he's leaving a few too many clues that he's doing it, and that's what makes me worried. Um, with that being said, I am gonna give him a 6 this week because I think his social positioning is still really good. I think his HOH week was very successful, and I think leaving this week, I would be hard pressed to believe that him and Juan would end up as a duo nominated while this race is going on. Um, However, I think once this game becomes individual, it'll be very interesting to see where he lands because also there's a lot of groups forming that I don't think he's in the center of. And I think he thinks he's in the center of the game. He's not quite in the center of the game. So he's got an interesting path forward. I'm intrigued to see what it is. His spot is good, but his gameplay is a little people are seeing through it. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm gonna give Jason a 6 too. Yeah, I think I mean I could say things, but I'll probably just be reiterating. Um, Good HOH, clean. Take out Julian. Uh, I think left his other nominee as someone who is being looked at in the future. Um, but yeah, I mean we'll talk about the same things about Riley. Like I don't understand what's happening with the lies that are like it's obviously like people could very easily find out the truth.
Especially over stuff that it's like there are other people that have talked about like casually like, oh yeah, like I played a few games before. Like I don't think you need to be coming in here saying like, yeah, I played a ton of games, I love these things, and I'm super experienced. No, but it's like when people know that you play games, just like casual, it's not that big of a deal. There are other people that's played games, and now you're playing a game, and that's fine. Like I don't think you would be
And it's
targeted
like
at.
Suba is close to Caden, and Caden knows that Jason. Like it's just like it's like that kind of stuff. But whatever. 6 for me. Let's move on to our
One.
other half of our
Okay.
HOH duo.
The other half of our HOH duo. One, again, let me start with the good things. Very social, talks to a lot of people, and I think that a lot of people feel good about Juan as well. Um, he's been one of honestly, I'd put him, Caden, and someone else that we'll talk to down the line here. I think we're the three most active people this week. And I think Juan is actively thinking about the game. So like all of that, high, high marks. This is what I find funny because I was not expecting this. In the draft, I was like, Cyan gives me Jacob Taplin vibes. That could not be further from the truth. Cyan
I
is
did
10.
not see that at all. I have no idea what you were talking about.
I don't know what vibes I was getting. That is not the vibes I get from Cyan at all. That is entirely the vibe that I get from Juan. Entirely the vibe. Because
He's so
like
paranoid.
he's so paranoid and it's like and it's not paranoid in a Brandon Ridge way. It's paranoid in a Jacob Taplin way. And it's very clearly the same exact thing as Jacob Taplin to me. Because it's like Jason sincerely is like talking in his conversation with Juan and he's like, Juan, I want to work with you. Like we're super close. Like Jason like fully is working with Juan. And Juan is like, no, I don't want to work with Jason. Jason's the worst. I needed to cut him. Let me work with Ashlyn, the girl that doesn't talk to anyone and everyone wants to put up. Yes, she's the one that I need to save. If anyone comes for Ashlyn, that's it. Let me cut off my close allies. And I'm like, Juan, ooh, buddy, stop. Just like pause, take a breather. He's just working on a mile a minute and I think wants to do so much. And I'm just like, Juan, stop. Um, he's yeah, he's killing me. I just want him to take a breather and not get ahead of himself. I think he very easily is getting ahead of himself. And I think Big Brother is a game that you have to let you can plan your like social network and then the game kind of has to come to you. And I think there's just a lot of wants getting ahead of himself. With that being said, a lot of that energy for the most part is manifesting in the diary room and not in like his other chats. No one sees Juan as paranoid, which I think is great. The only person that like he's kind of let it show a little bit to maybe is Ashlyn, but like what is Ashlyn gonna do? And Ashlyn also trusts Juan built in through Liz and Tyler, I think. I don't think I can give Juan a worse score than Jason this week. Um, and similarly, I do think he's in a good social position. I don't see him going anywhere on the block anytime soon while this duo's twist is in there. So I'm gonna give Juan a 6 as well. But him and Jason are both at a low 6. Like they just crossed the threshold into a green score because their social positioning warrants it. Their gameplay, I'm like, both of them, Jason has a few too many holes in his story. Juan is getting one step a little too ahead of himself. I'm intrigued to see what their paths moving forward. in this game are. But it's going to be 6 for me this week because I think this was an overall positive week.
Yeah, I'm tying them together a little bit, but they both get negatives for kind of different reasons. I'm gonna go six as well. I feel the same way. I'm not gonna like restate everything you said, but picking up off with the Friends of Citrus.
Yes, Julia Key. Um, okay. Positives. Super sweet. So nice. Love Julia. Um, Julia has, I think, the same thing going on that Jamie does, where it's like she's here at the comps, she's here at the eviction. We're not like with Julian, it was like we King, answer the damn phone. We've never had an issue with Julia not being here, not being active, not putting in, like not giving us what we need. But I find it so interesting because she literally like talks in the house chat, but like I can't remember the last time I saw her name come up in my individual messages. Heading into the vote, like Kaden was like trying to start a conversation with her. She was like, Kaden was like, "Yeah, how are you feeling?" And Julia was like, "Good. Like I've had conversations with everyone, and like I think," and I'm like, "Girl, where are the conversations in the room with us? Are the conversations the friend we made along the way? Like, what are you talking about? Where? Where are they happening in your mind? Like, are we imagining them? Um, because where are the conversations? I'm just so confused. I also, and then she's like posting on Instagram.
Yeah, I was gonna say she's getting kind of careless.
Well, I don't even think it's careless. I just think that she's so used to playing in a fandom that like knows who each other's friends are. And it's like she's like posting on her Instagram. She's on FaceTime with Citrus and Stokes, also known as Citrus, trying to get into a Zoom call. Um, and like people are like seeing it and are like, oh. So they're like, A, so you're close to Citrus and you're talking to Citrus. B, you have enough energy to talk on Instagram, but like you're not talking to me. Um, she can't compete in this upcoming HOH. I think if she was a more active player, what this twist might do is like people are like, oh, well, she couldn't play in HOH and we like her. Like, we're not gonna backdoor her. That sucks. The issue is the issue is the opposite effect is true. And I think people are like, why the fuck would we not send her home? Like, so I worry for her heading into week two. She had a conversation right after the eviction with Sisters where she was like, Sisters, should we just let people know that we know each other? And that conversation really didn't go anywhere. The conversation just kind of stopped, as had most conversations that Julia's had in this game. I'm just a little confused because she seems so nice. She seems to want to be here. Like, again, we're not getting like nothing, but I'm just confused. Like, it would
Almost
make more
nothing.
sense to me if we were getting nothing. It would make more sense to me if we had to like,
There's only
like
ice left in the drink. It's pretty much nothing.
it's, but when I say, I mean, like, we're not getting nothing, it's like, we don't have to beg for her vote. We didn't have to beg for her pictures or her intro video. She shows up to comps. Like, she's very clearly like keeping up with the game, which is why I'm so confused. Which I'm like, how have you not talked to anyone? Like, it's just, it's not competing in my mind. It's gonna be a 3 from me. Um, just because universally everyone is like joking about like, where is she? It's not a thing where like with Jamie or with Ashley, it's like, oh yeah, like I've had some conversation with her. She's nice, but literally everyone is just like, where is Julia? So
Yeah,
it's gonna
I think I'm gonna be at a four. Um, I think for me at least, maybe I wasn't reading the right things. I didn't see a lot of the, well, it would be easier just to get rid of her until week two. Um, and I was probably assuming at the end of the week that, she probably would have been safe. I would have thought that. I would have thought nobody was gonna just like I thought people were just gonna let her go just to be nice. That's too mean. No, that's well, I'm not gonna talk about next week. Uh, but yeah, my question is like, I'm confused because she has so much experience. It's not like someone like Jamie who, you know, comes in, doesn't know how much she really needs to talk. Julia like has a lot of experience and she knows how much she needs to talk. And so I'm just like, well, why are you not talking? Is it because you don't want to be here? But I'm like confused because it looks like you do want to be here. So like I don't know. But four for me. I mean, I would have assumed that she was gonna be spared next week. At the
And listen, she still might be. We know a little bit as to what happens in this upcoming week.
just a lot of
Um,
talk, not a lot of
but there's still not a lot of Julia being around.
so four for me. It'll probably be lower next week though. Julian, I'll start. I'm giving him one.
Is that all?
That is the number of messages I saw this week from Julian. And that was his goodbye. Sorry, not his
Yeah.
his plea. I don't think he said
Um, yeah. I was gonna say I have about as many words to say about Julian as Julian has said in this game. Um, it's no shade. It's all love. Julian seems great, but he literally, I don't think, made a single chat. We also had to like beg him to get in his photos and videos. Didn't show up to the veto. Didn't even like ask to leave the game or ask to be pulled from the game. And when we were like, no.
it.
And I was like, but you can ask to leave. Like, still didn't even like do that until after his plea was already asked for and we moved on. I'm just like, okay, it's a one from me. Um, expected so much more, but alas, here we are.
Yeah.
Wishing you the best, Julian.
High negative
And
derivative.
that's all I got.
Karina.
Karina, our most wanted house guest
Does Karina at all remind you of Camilla?
from the season of Survivor.
Yes.
No,
Oh, okay. To me, she
but
kind of does.
okay,
In,
work.
in the best way. Like, Camilla's my favorite right now, by the way.
Camilla's my favorite too. I haven't seen tonight's episode. Tonight being the final, what was tonight? Nine, final nine. I have not seen it, but Camilla is still my favorite. Um, Karina, I I'm just like I'm getting good vibes from Karina. Um, she's the most wanted house guest, which for me gagged me. Not
Hmm.
from her actual like vibes of the video. I thought her video was fantastic. But I like would have expected the most wanted house guest to go to someone like Damon, like Jason, like Caden, someone that is like a little more well established within the fandom that some people knew how to make a video. This is Karina's first time playing online. Didn't know anyone coming into the season. And when she got number one, I was like, you better work. You better work. And I love it. And I love it. Um, she's got a good head on her shoulders for the game, very clearly. She's playing smartly, at like a good steady pace, has had really good conversations with people. I think has done pretty well socially. I have nothing but like solidly positive things. Do I think she's at the center of like the alliances right now? No. Do I think that once the game starts to pick up, she could end up there? For sure. I think a lot of people really like her. I think they think she's really cool. They enjoy talking to her. She seemed to strike a good balance. Um, I'm just kind of talking in circles. I don't have anything specific to say other than big thumbs up, solid gameplay. Excited to see what Karina does this season. She's clearly a smart player. I'm gonna give Karina a 6.
Me too. I really like Karina. I think people really like Karina. Uh, yeah, I was not expecting the most wanted house guest either, which I was pleasantly surprised by. And the fact that she has told nobody, I think, is I don't know if that's surprising to me, but I'm
I don't
glad.
think the power is relevant to tell anyone right now. I think there's no reason to tell anyone.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's something that establishes trust for something big that's coming down the line.
I feel like it's a very Grace Fader move. Keep it on the down low. When you need to say something,
Yes, very impressed. Yeah, impressed. That's what I was gonna say. More like Grace Fader move. But six for me. I think I will be going up on Karina throughout the season more. Kaylin,
Kaylin. Okay. I'm doing this, and that's not me like, oh, Kaylin's eating up the game. That's not what that is. That's the flock friends of Sean are so back.
they've never left.
They never left. They never left. They're always here. Um,
Shout out to Nebraska.
shout out to Nebraska.
I will say I've driven through that state. It's a very long state.
Um,
Um,
yeah, Kaylin is like, I don't know. I really adore her. I really love Kaylin.
no,
In in the same way that I adore Chloe.
no, but I was gonna say Kaylin feels so different than Chloe. Feel
Kaylin to me feels like the exact combination of Chloe and Caroline.
no, I feel like she's different from both of them. I don't.
Um,
I can't put it into words yet. I don't
I
think.
can't. I don't want to talk about week two.
She's a little
I
like
don't want to.
sassier. I feel like, but I feel like we haven't gotten that yet.
We'll get to week two when we get to week two next week. Kaylin is like, I don't know, like literally, like she didn't say anything on like day one or two, like practically, and then
Didn't hit the
had
block though.
to walk into, yeah, avoided the block, and then it's like you're on eviction at night. She's like, who even is Julia? It's like, girl, who even are you? Um,
But she's so funny. Like I love Kaylin.
um,
I
her
think Karina kind of saved her a little bit.
a
Um,
little bit entirely,
this
a
week.
100% saved by Karina.
Uh,
Um,
Karina wasn't too happy. I think by the end of the week, well, they talked more. I really think it was just the first few days.
it
Uh,
was just the first few days. I mean, listen, I think Caitlyn actually, when it's all said and done, has a decent strategic head on her shoulder. Um, in the
I
conversations
feel like
that
we're
she
gonna look back on
has
that later.
had. Um, I just think she needs to talk a little more.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I'll just say my score for Caitlyn is a four. It's gonna be a four because I think Karina is boosting her up. However, she is a name that was out and about, like being tossed out and about of like, oh, where is she? Kind of similar to Jamie. Um, that's all I really have to say about this week. I'm not going to say anything else because I think next week is going to be a much more interesting week to talk about with Caitlin. But right now it's a four, and that four comes down to you need to talk to more people. Karina can't save you forever.
Yeah, I'm gonna be at a four too. I don't have much more to say, but we're okay. We knew last season with Chloe, like by week two, we were like, okay, we're not getting much more from Chloe Farmer. You know what I mean? Like it was,
Mhm.
and granted, we did in the negative way, in an opposite way. We got things. Um, Here, I'm like, I don't feel the same way. I'm not like, okay, week two, like we're not going to be getting much more from her. Like I do really think that Kaylin is going to be like,
You know what it kind of gives? It kind of gives Caitlin
I was
from
going to
season
say that. Like it is kind of Kaylin.
where it's like, do I think she's gonna evolve into like some mastermind person this season? No, no. But do I think she's gonna like all of a sudden like get into it enough to like
Like win an HOH,
like
like
opinions and like
yeah.
give opinions on things? And do I think that they might wildly differ from what other people think? Yeah, and I think that's gonna be really funny.
I do get a lot of Kaylin actually, now that you say it. Who is also so funny. Like uh so for Left Terry.
Left Terry.
Aleftheros Volinakis.
Still the coolest name ever. That'll never change. Left Terry. I really like Left Terry. Um, I really Left Terry is someone. I mean, I always appreciate this just as a host. Like, I don't need like our ego inflated, whatever. Like, that's not what this is about. But like, we do this because we enjoy meeting people and talking to people. And like, right off the bat, Left Terry was like, "Oh, like I don't know who convinced you to apply, but I'm having so much fun, and this is a good time." And I'm like, "Oh, love Left Terry. Yay, so glad." Um, in terms of his positioning, sticking with my week one score. Um, is he in a red score? No, certainly not. He has talked to a lot of people. Enough people have said they like him, and that's good. Is he in a green score? Certainly not, I think. I think he's on the outer circle of things still. I think we're seeing there's no big conglomerate of power right now. However, I think there is a conglomerate of people that, even without knowing it, like are all talking to one another. And I think that Lefteri is on like the outer circle of that as like an additional number for people. This is at least what I was seeing. And heading into week two, my perspective has shifted a bit, but like specifically in week one, if I had to view the game, I would say that Danny, Caden, and Suba were at the center of it. And then people like Jason, Juan, and Karina had, and Cyan had good ends with those people, good connections with each other, and yay. Lefteri feels like he's on that third tier on the outside of that. Um, Not in any immediate danger per se, but I don't think it's found that click with his people. And no one is like, yes, I super trust Lefteri the most. So I think he's in an interesting spot there. For me, I'm gonna give Lefteri a 5. Middle of the road. It's like a positive 5. It's like a 5.6, if you will. Um, but I don't think I can go up to a green score because I don't think he's in that solid enough of a position. But he's certainly not on a red score. He's certainly done better than Jamie, than Caitlin, who I have at 4. So it's going to be a 5 from me.
I'm gonna do a five as well. I think what I'm also noticing is that almost all these partners are next to each other on this list, which is interesting.
Oh yeah, when I made the list, it's so crazy how it literally went down alphabetically. Jason Wan, Julie Julian, Karina Caitlin, Terry Riley, Cyan Suba.
Yeah, and almost like at the beginning too, a little bit switched up. But um, yeah, I think I was looking at the partners because I think Left Area has established a really good connection with his partner, and I think Left Area and Riley are very close, which I think is great. I think for this twist, the closer you can be to your partner, I think the better, because you'll have someone else to pull for you in other chats, is what I'm noticing. But five from me. I haven't seen a super ton besides that. Yeah, five for me.
Okay.
Riley.
Moving on to Riley. Riley, um, kind of exactly what you just said. Riley and Left Terry have a really good connection. I think the fact that they have such a strong connection as a duo is really strong for them. Um, Riley's someone I don't see her having many strong ties outside of Left Terry, though, if I'm being honest. Um, Honestly, she has a pretty good relationship with Jason. And I think the group, like, I think right now in her mind, like, her main thing is her chat with Left Terry, Jason, and Juan. I don't, and honestly, I think Jason and Juan are actually prioritizing them um a good amount, which I think is good for them. Aside from that, there's not a lot going. Jason and Juan are not the people that I view at the center of this game either, so I don't know how helpful that'll be. And she's been good at having personal conversations with people, but I haven't seen a lot of game come from her. Again, kind of floating in the middle. Definitely, I mean, spoiler alert, I'm gonna be giving her a 5 as well. Definitely is not in a red score. Um, there are definitely far too many people that are doing far worse than Riley for me to give Riley a red score. But at the same time, I think there are far too many people that are doing far better than Riley for me to give her that green score that Karina and Kaden and Jason and Juan and Danny have. So for me, it's a 5. Solid, average. I think definitely has room to go up. I am more confident that Riley's score will rise than Terry's, if my gut is correct. Um,
I agree with that. I think there was a lot of traveling with Riley in the first few days.
there's a lot of what?
There was a lot of traveling. I can tell you, I'm with her right now. Like she is locked in. Wait, I guess you didn't know this. She has a notebook of like a written notebook that every conversation
Come on, Brandon.
she writes it
Yes.
down and she writes down what she learned from the conversation. It's like detailed too. Like
Oh,
she's
she's
got
locked
pages
in.
filled. Like she's locked in. So 5 for now. I do agree that left area is probably our closest right now, but um, I think she's also still like question. She's a little bit questioning how much she actually trusts him because she knows that he is experienced. Um, but I think that's her main thing as of week 1. But we'll see what happens. 5 for me.
I'm excited to see. I'm excited and intrigued to see what she does. Because it's like hearing that she's so locked in is so interesting. And I love to hear that. And I hope that inexperience doesn't get the best of her. Like, I hope she knows when it's like time to step it up and make a move. Dr. Eggman?
This is like cyan, you think? I don't know. This is
No.
cyan. I think it's the red and the mustache. I honestly
Oh.
didn't remember what he looked like, and then I looked it up, and it doesn't look like that much like him. But anyway,
Um, but anyway, yes, excited to see what Riley does. I hope that inexperience doesn't bite her in the ass, and I hope that she knows like when it's time to step up and make a move and do something. So we'll see.
shoot,
I'm excited.
who am I thinking of?
She kind of reminds me of Riley McGee in all honesty.
No, I'm thinking of cyan.
We're not on to Cyan yet, so can we stop?
I thought we were.
No. Um,
Given our scores, I thought you were finished.
no, we're literally still talking about Riley.
You said, "Yep," and then I don't have anything else to say, so I assumed that we were done.
Um, well, no, we were talking about Riley. I never remember concluding Riley. Well, like now I'm kind of done.
Okay, cyan.
Okay, Cyan. Um, I'm big. I'm a Psy fan.
I am. I like his vibe.
I love his vibe.
the
Um,
I mean, it's always a step up, I guess. If your initial reaction of chaos meter was Jacob Taplin, and it's not that.
no, it's not that. Kind is very cool, calm, collected. I think a lot of people really like talking to him. Um,
Just like a chill guy.
chill guy. Him and Suba have an awesome dynamic as partners. Like getting on FaceTime with them, love it. It's always so much fun. Um,
Sorry, I'm laughing because of Suba, which I must contain until the next.
um, and I think he's doing a good job. I think people really like him. He's in good with people. Like, and I think the fact that he's with Suba is like only boosting him even further. Um, when I like there are certain people like here, like Kaylin, like we said, that I think is being boosted by Karina and like got saved this week. To be clear, I do think that Cyan is being boosted by Suba, but I think that Cyan would be totally fine on his own as well. Um, just solidly good work. Like I have nothing more to say other than he's been very active, been making really good connections. I think is smart. Um, and is committed to like playing this game. As the weeks go on and the inactive people go, I'm excited to see what Cyan does. For me, solid 6.
Yeah, definitely
Bottom of
six for
the
me.
scores,
6 for
6
me
for
too.
Cyan.
And I think cyan goes up as the season goes on. Uh, yeah, I think he probably gave you Jacob Taplin because he's older, and I
I
think
think that's probably what it was.
and I think it's working in his favor here. Where I've heard a lot of people be like, "Yeah, anybody who's in college still like feels so young to me," Which it's like I think this is the first season that like that's starting to make a big shift
Yep.
um, as the age demographic grows. And I think that's a plus for Cyan. And I think people just like talking to him. He's a normal guy, normal job, normal conversations. I
Isn't
like
that
it.
crazy? Hearing that people are like, oh, the people that are still in college feel so young. Season 5, over half the cast was still in high school.
Yeah,
Like,
probably
wow.
probably there's probably another season after that. Season 6 maybe, maybe not. I didn't realize
We're
6
just
was
like,
still in high school. To be real.
oy.
Anyway,
Um,
someone was like, "This feels illegal."
Suba.
I wasn't done talking about Cyan.
Okay, go on.
No, I was kind of done.
Okay, great.
Suba. I
Um,
love Suba.
I'm literally already like, oh, Suba's gonna kill it on All Stars whenever we do the next season. I'm like, I don't care where she fucking plays. Like Suba, get ready to pick up the phone.
I just like
I
I can't even impersonate her conversations. Like it wouldn't do.
No, I can't either. We've never had anyone like Suba. We will never have anyone like Suba again because she is one of a kind in all of the best ways. She's breaking the flop friend of Sean mold. She's here to
No,
stay.
I knew she was never a flop friend. I would never call.
No, no, no. I knew too, and that's why I picked her like immediately in my draft. She like here's the only way I can describe it. I, who have never met or talked to Suba ever, join a FaceTime. Suba calls her chat with Kaden. Before Kaden is able to join, I get on the FaceTime. Suba and when I jump on, I'm like, oh, hey. And before we say anything, we're just like, wow. And we're like screaming at each other because that's just the vibe. Suba just has a way of like talking that I'm just like, she can hold the conversation with anyone. She is so much fun. Everyone loves her. Um, it's honestly like the first time I felt this way about a player since like she's already hit Olivia Wick status for me. Like I will ask Suba to be on any damn season of this franchise ever because she's just so much fun. I'm excited to see as like the game evolves, like
Yeah.
what she does there as well. Because here's the thing, I'm not letting it affect my score because I don't give a damn. There's I do have a worry for Suba, and that is she talks way too casually, where it's like she was on a FaceTime with like Cyan and just like casually was like, yeah, I was on a long FaceTime with Kaden and with Danny, and we were saying that I was like, Suba, like we don't need to say that we're in a tight trio with them. And she wasn't like saying like we're in a tight trio with them, but she was just saying like, oh yeah, like she's not like hiding like what's going on with her. She's just like, yeah, I talk to everyone and I love everyone, and we're talking to them, and here's my strategic plans, and we're doing it, and I'm playing the game, and I'm like, at work. Um, could it get a little messy and away from her? Maybe, but that's just a maybe. And for week one, she's been so social, and everyone adore. She's been on like a FaceTime call with every damn member of this cast. Julia Key could never. Okay, like this is what I love. Um, she also, I thought it was so funny. Um, actually, wait, this is the point about Jason as well. Maybe he's not going to see this. Jason, come watch the Super Part 2 because this is another thing about you. Um, one thing about Jason is, and this is going to tie to Super. Jason, I think, is used to playing in games where it's like you come on and then you jump into game talk. So many of these people like clearly want to like make friends, get to know you, talk about your lives. And
Today,
especially downtime of week one, like really wants to do that too. And like Suba got on a FaceTime with Jason one time and Jason immediately jumped into game talk. And Suba was like, oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, we can talk game. We can talk game. I didn't want to get to know you anyway. That's fine. I was like, and like I think
today, Riley and Suba were on a call in the Wienermobile. I was in the passenger seat, and They were talking for like 45 minutes about life. We get to a gas station. Riley like runs into a bathroom, runs out, and she's off the phone. And she's like, "Oh, you missed all the strategy." I was like, "You were talking for 45 minutes about nothing, and you talked for like 2.5 minutes about the week, and it's like 10 minutes before nominations. Like what?" Uh,
Um,
which is funny. I get like there's it's not right or wrong. It's just different. And it's funny.
Suba, and it's also like, and it's not that I think that Suba doesn't like have. I think she's got opinions, but I also think like she could go into a conversation with like Danny, say like randomly, like an example, and she's like, yeah, like and like Loki, like I was hoping like Citrus could go this week and it would be great, and Danny would be like, oh yeah, I think Julian's probably gonna go, and Suba would be like, great, that's what I want anyway. I think Julian should go, and that's what should happen, and I'm like, okay, work. I don't know. She's just so fun. I love Zuba so much. I like all of this raving clearly, like right now, like spoil like y'all, not to spoil the season. We won't ever talk spoilers, but I'm letting you know that Zuba has Fun Productions favorite. Like there's no fucking just win it. I'm so sorry. It's just decided. Suba has one Productions favorite. And if I'm wrong, it's because she won this damn season. Like that's what happened. For me, it's gonna be a seven. I can't not give her a
Yeah,
seven.
it's gonna be a 7 for me too.
She's just been everywhere. She's done so
I was
well.
I was this close to going to an 8 too.
Me
I was
too.
considering
I
it.
think her gameplay is a little too messy and loose for me to give it an eight. Um,
But this is
but I'm
where she needs to be
happy
right
to give
now.
a social seven.
This is where she needs to be. I think the guerrilla social bonding is like essential for someone new in week one.
She
And
is so. I think you said it, and I was even thinking it. Agree. She is so Sarah.
yeah, she is so Sarah. Sarah said it was so Sarah, which is funny.
I
Um,
love that Sarah knows that she's like an adjective.
but yeah, that's everything.
That
These,
is
this is
everything.
pretty much
Leading,
what I expected.
yeah. Um, yeah. Leaving this week, Danny and Suba at the top of the list. I would put Kaden right behind them as that third highest. The three of them are definitely the center of this game right now. However, I think heading into a shift in power of HOH, as well as maybe the game kicking into high other gear, we are starting to see some other power structures form. So I'll be interested to see the end of week two where we officially stand. Um, Down at the bottom, Julian obviously went home. Julia and Citrus, that famous duo of people. Um, We'll see where they go. I think we are likely to see a Citrus or Jamie or Julie. Like I think the noms are gonna be pretty similar come the end of this week, and we're gonna see one of these more inactive people get the boot once more.
Yeah.
Um, I'll be interested to see how this season plays out. I'm like right off the bat, it was definitely a more boring week one than we've had.
Calm. I would say
I
calm.
can't. I It was calm. I can't tell if this is like gonna be comparing it to past seasons, like I don't know why I kind of get like season 14 vibes. Um, but like season 14 vibes if season 14 was a little more positive.
Hmm.
But it's also not 14, but it's not 15 either.
Uh,
It's 17. And with that, that's all I have to say.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
I can't find the stop recording button. Hold on. Oh my gosh, have we been recording? Yes. Oh, stop recording.